Hey guys, it's Stephanie. I just wanted to come on today and kind of talk about a book that I just finished reading. It was Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate. I have it right here. Right here. um, so it was recommended to me from a book club that I'm in with the alumni of my sorority that I was in college, and I actually really ended up liking it. It is a historical fiction, which I always love, but I'm usually kind of picky about the topic of the historical fiction and it being something to do with history that I was already kind of familiar with or interested in. And this one wasn't necessarily that. It was based in, let me see what year, 1939 and then present day. So you go back and forth between two timelines. And it was about the Tennessee Children's Home Society, which I had never heard about before, and kind of everything that happened with that. We follow a girl named Rill, who grows up on a boat on the Mississippi with her family and her siblings. She has a brother named Gabian, her sisters Camellia, Lark, and Fern. Right. And then her parents are Bryony and Queenie, and they just travel up and down the Mississippi on their boat. Well, their mom is pregnant, and spoiler alert in this video, by the way. One day, a little too early, the babies start to come, and they have to kind of leave in the middle of the night. The doctor has to go and take the mom to the hospital, which I guess being on a riverboat, the rest of the kids had all been born on the boat, but the midwife wasn't able to get the baby out. Or the babies, it was twins, which they didn't know. So the dad has to race Queenie to the hospital in the middle of the night and leaves Rill, who's the oldest. I think she's 12. He leaves her alone on the boat and just says, take care of everybody until I get back, kind of thing. And the next thing they know, they're taken away by some people. To this house where they're taken to live. They are told that if they behave, they will get to see their mom and dad, and that they'll take them to the hospital to see their mom and dad. And you later find out that they're taken to a house owned by a woman named Georgia Tan, which this is where the true story part came into play, who would essentially kidnap children and sell them to wealthy people who either couldn't have children or for whatever reason maybe were just looking to adopt for money. So it's a horrible situation in the house, and I loved how atmospheric this book was, how well it described the setting of the house and where they were, of the riverboat. The whole thing was so atmospheric. But at the same time, which was what I thought was so interesting, you really became invested in all the characters too. So it was very atmospheric, but also very character driven, which in my experience, usually it's one or the other. So I really liked feeling like I was there, but also being so invested in the characters. So one storyline from, what did I say, 1939 in Memphis, Tennessee, is following Rill and her siblings and her kind of trying to take care of them while they're living in this home and keep them all together. And then in the present day, we are following a girl named Avery. And her dad is a senator of South Carolina, and she's a lawyer who has kind of moved home to prepare to kind of take over in his footsteps. He's getting sick, and she's kind of she's the youngest sister, but she's been groomed to kind of follow in their footsteps. So she's home in South Carolina. So as Avery is back home in South Carolina and following in all her family duties, she's also, you find out, very close to her father's mother, her grandma Judy, who was recently put into a nursing home for dementia. And she goes to her grandmother's house to start cleaning it out and kind of starts finding some interesting things, things that make her kind of curious. She also, on one of her visits with her dad, goes to a nursing home and meets a woman who confuses her for someone else, and thinks she knows her because of a bracelet that she's wearing. And so Avery is kind of, the nursing home is trying to tell her that the woman that she met kind of doesn't know what she's talking about. But Avery kind of has a feeling that she does know. And she wants to know why this woman is claiming to know her, why this woman thinks she's familiar. And she kind of starts digging into it, even though her fiance is telling her not to. Her dad's press secretary is saying, you know, your dad's up for re-election. We don't need this drama. Just kind of leave it alone. But she's curious and wants to know her family history. So she starts digging into it. And this is the story of kind of all that. And how Avery's story intertwines with Rill's, and there were just a lot of interesting twists that I kind of thought I knew where it was going to go, and it didn't. Let me get back in the frame. It didn't go quite where I thought it would, but I did really enjoy where it went. So I'm glad that I enjoyed it, but was, you know, still surprised at the same time. I was very invested the entire time. So I definitely recommend this book, and it was a pretty quick read as well. So especially if you like historical fiction, definitely give this a try. Thanks. Talk to you guys next time. Bye.